Welcome to this video series on Cubase 13 and its new features. First off, the thing that I want to touch on is a big overhaul that has happened to the application has been an update to the MixConsole. So I can either get to the MixConsole by hitting Command-Alt-E or Control-Alt-E, and it brings it up in the lower pane over here. But let's rather look at the big MixConsole view by hitting F3. So that brings up the MixConsole, and as you can see, there is definitely a new look to this. There's been a more modern, sleek overhaul on the whole look and feel, but as you can see, everything still is in the right places, but there's been some adaptations to the way that they work. So just taking a look at a channel over here, you've got your volume fader, you've got your mute, your solo. This brings up the edit channel settings. With the edit channel settings, you've got your channel strip here, plus you can view your EQ, and you can see your single chain of your plugins here. Then over here, you got your read and write automation, your record enable, and your monitor to monitor the signal coming in. Looking up here, you can see that you've got this EQ view, and this is pretty handy. So you can actually change the look of what you're seeing here by clicking on this gear icon over here, which is the setup window layout, and you can choose what to view. So here I'm choosing to show the EQ curve. And what I really like about this is you can click to open up the EQ curve, make some changes to it, and as you move off, it disappears. So watch again, I'm just going to click on this break. Let's say I want to add a bit of a low shelf and a boost over here. And as I click off, that window drops away. And just having a look here, I get a nice overhaul of the EQs that have been set up on each track. Then next, I've got the writing setup. I can see the writing of the inputs and outputs on each track. And as I click that, that minimizes it. Then I can see my inserts, my insert slots. Over here, it's showing the EQ as well, but I really don't need that if I'm seeing the EQ curve over here. So I can jump back over here and choose to not show the EQ. Maybe I want to rather instead see something like the direct routing. Then I can choose to show that, and now I can see the direct routing of each track. I've also got my sends over here. So if I've got any reverb sends or send effects, I can set them up here. And then here is the channel strip. Now this has also been updated. Basically, when you click the channel strip, you can see each device that's in the channel strip. So for example, here is the gate. I can click to open up, maybe change its settings. So I've got the window here. I can click off it. And I can also choose to change its location in the signal chain. So I'm moving the gate later down. I can click on the saturation, choose to see the settings. This is using the magneto, add some extra saturation and drop that output and click away. So it's really nice that you can just quickly view your signal chain for the channel strip. You can see which ones have been enabled. And you can click on the E button to open up the module, make some changes, and then move away. And obviously, if you use your shortcut keys G and H, that's going to minimize and increase the size of the width of the channels. Also, on each fader, you've got color coding, so you can see what type of tracks are. These are instrument tracks with this yellow, amber look. Then your audio tracks are this gray look over here. So these are audio tracks as well. And then these are my fixed channels, which are purple. And over here, I can choose to hide and show things in the visibility view. Maybe I don't want these tracks over here. I can just hide them. So everything is pretty much the same here with the left pane. We've got the visibility, your history, and any snapshots you create. So that is a rundown on the MixConsole. As you can see, it has been quite a big overhaul on the graphic look of it. It's much more modern and sleek. And you can easily go to different parameters and sections and see what's happening with them. So now that you know what's happening with the MixConsole and its overhaul, next let's jump into some other features.